Okay, let me... Hello. Oh my god, I haven't done this in so long, and suddenly I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Get this. There we go. Hello, welcome. I hope you've all been doing well. It's been a pretty exciting week, I think, from Paradox Live perspective. I feel like there's been a lot going on lately, which is good for us, I think. All right, now that I've got my phone set up so I can also watch the chat while I'm on my computer and not looking at the chat. One of these days I should probably just get another monitor so I could do actual things, but instead we just have the jankiest setup ever. I do at least have a desktop now, so I guess that's a step up already. We have been fed so well. Honestly, we've been fed extremely well over the past couple months, I feel like. Because I feel like every other day or week I'm like tuning in and there's like, oh, here we have this Bomberman video. Oh, also there's this going on. So like it just feels like there's so much constantly. So it's really exciting, honestly. It's very nice. I've kind of it's like reawakened all of my passions and excitement again. That's fair. Yeah. I just don't know if I'll ever graduate past a janky setup. I could see that. Yeah, I have a tablet. I just I haven't really been using it. My tablet goes through periods of I use it like every day and then I just like set it down and don't use it for weeks. So it depends on how much art I feel like doing. And then I get like burned out and put it back down again. Oh man, so I guess like just to start off while we're I don't know, maybe waiting for people to show up. Hello, welcome. Uh what were the ones that you were kind of most excited for? Because I mean, I'm always obviously excited for Akan Yatsura, and I don't think that they've dropped the ball yet. So honestly, yeah, I think that really, like, all of these songs, I mean, some of them, I'll admit, took me a couple listens to kind of really get a feel for them. You know how sometimes you hear a song the first time and you get like, oh, okay, and then, like, you listen to it a couple times and it's like, oh, no, actually, this is really pretty good. I feel like I had that for a lot of these songs, because the first impression was kind of like, oh, all right. But like as I listen to them, I've been like listening to them for the last couple hours just in preparation of the stream to make sure that I have like a reasonable, familiarity with them. Um, and I think that they're all pretty good. They're all really solid. Oh, and thank you, Dumb Banana. Hello, welcome, people. I'm excited to be back. I'm like kind of nervous. I'm sitting here going, this is like a low-key stream. We're just going to talk about these videos. And then I'm sitting here like shaking, like, oh God. I have to not be a hermit for a couple, I don't know, like an hour or so. Maybe a couple hours. But yeah, no, I think that overall, all of these songs are pretty solid. I really don't think there are any like total duds. Like there's some that I think are like not as good as they could have been, but I don't think any are just like absolute flops. Hello, welcome everybody. Oh, thank you guys so much. Hello, welcome. Oh my god. So like over the summer, I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have the summer, I'll have so much time, and then over the summer I realized that I was just extremely burnt out from like the school year and everything else. And I ended up just basically functionally doing nothing for the entire summer. So, and then obviously the start of the school year came, so I was like super busy trying to get everything on track, making sure that like all my lesson plans and stuff are caught up. And then like obviously like I was saying, Paradox Live has just been pumping stuff out for the last like month or so. So I've been really trying to keep on top of that as well, and I've just juggling all these other things. I'm like, all right, well I guess I'm just gonna get this video done at some point. So yeah, that's a peek into the exciting life of I don't know, me. Oh, nice, excellent. Mental health care is really important. I think it's super important to talk openly and earnestly about these things. Because, you know, I don't want people to think like, wow, some of these people are just balancing so many things and they just never have problems. Like, you know, your teachers, your peers, your coworkers, if you're like younger, the adults in your life, like everybody has things going on. And really it's kind of like at some point you kind of, as an adult, I'll say, as an adult who's struggled with like mental health things in the past, you know, at some point you really have to kind of figure out a good balance for you that helps you maintain your mental health, but also is productive, right? Because you want to be able to have the energy and the capacity to do and pursue your interests and to get your job done and be like a productive member of society and like a, or at least like, you know, like a positive member of society who's like doing good things and helping people. But you also want to be sure that your mental health is in a good place that allows you to do that, you know? So it's always a balance. It's constantly a process. Let's see here. I kind of agree, honestly. I think like Ampril, it wasn't bad. It just, in my opinion, it wasn't as good as it could have been. Like, because I've really liked a lot of Amprils in the past, and I felt like this one was just kind of like, okay. But like that's what I mean though. Like of all of these songs, even the ones that I thought weren't like, oh my god, what a banger! This was absolute fire. Like I still thought like that was pretty solid. You know, like it wasn't bad. It was fine. You know, so that's kind of how I felt about this. Honestly, I think TCW went off on this one. The Cat's Whiskers, I think this one is so nice. I love the music video. It's got such like a soulful, old school kind of vibe, I think it's great. Let's see here. Oh man, I hope things get better for you, hipster writer. It can be really hard. I'm honestly kind of grateful that I have a job that allows me to have like a couple months off in the summer to recuperate. But I feel like with a job like teaching, you really need that time to recuperate. Because the one thing that I miss about having like a customer service job is that you can't just like clock in and phone it in as a teacher. You really can't just go and be like, I'm just gonna go through the motions today. Like you've got to kind of be on like all the time. So, you know, I think it's nice to have some time off after that. I do. I think that let's see here. Yeah, I see a lot of TCW honestly, genuinely solid, super solid this time. I've had that song stuck on my head like on and off for the last like week. I thought Inmates was one of the ones that I had to like listen to it a couple times and be like, okay, yeah, this is pretty good. They have some like really cool moments. I like the part in the song where it goes doo 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 doo. But you know, I feel like in the song there were moments I'm like, oh, this is really good, and then kind of the chorus part with the Hello World I thought was kind of like, okay, it's whatever. I was going through like multiple stages of emotion throughout the song. But yeah, I think one of the cool things about Paradox Live, and that I've like realized as I've been in the Paradox Live fandom, is that people can listen to these different songs and come up with completely different opinions. And I think to some extent they're all valid, right? Music is very subjective, so like what you think about good or bad music, I think to some extent is fairly subjective. I think when they're all on kind of an equal level of competence, you know, that's where kind of personal taste comes in. And I think that's one of the cool things about Paradox Live, because they're all, I would say, like pretty competent typically. But it's just the subgenres and the sounds that end up distinguishing what people like or don't like. And so I think that's really cool. Right. Oh man, yeah, you know what? Sometimes working at a fast food place can be kind of fun because you get to phone it in, but sometimes, oh my god, it's exhausting. You're like, I feel like I've been physically beaten for the last 8 hours. I remember those days. Good times. Let's see here. All right, cool. Yeah, the idol kind of influence in Inmate was definitely there, I think. And then also like the first day, I think like Goku. The first couple times I listened to Goku Luck, I was just like, oh my god, this is so chaotic, and I felt that a little bit as well about Swag. Because it just kind of like, you know, they have so many things happening, and then they have their like in the background and stuff. But after listening to it a couple times, I really F with it. I think it's really good. So, it definitely moved up a couple tiers for me, in my mental tier list after a couple listens. But anyway, we got like we have like 11 people here, so I guess we can kind of get started. I have reformatted the screen because I remembered that copyright was a thing that existed, so I'll play it a little bit. I probably won't play it super loud, and kind of just talk about things that are in the video or whatever. And then honestly, for parts of it, I might just let it play and kind of we can chat over it as it plays in the background. But let's see here. Well, we're starting off with Cosmos. This is the start of the batting order, so to speak, as it is. So here we go. Let me. I got my playlist put together. Is the audio good? Is it too loud? Are we okay? Yes. No. We gotta go. We gotta go. To be honest, I have had this chorus has been stuck in my head like on and off throughout the week. Like I'll just be like walking around being like, get your money, except for I'm not getting any money because I teach. Let's see. I really think that ever since the end of the first part of Paradox Live that Cosmos has really improved. And I think that part of the reason that Cosmos has really improved is because now like Nayuta's an active part of the songs, and I think that it's lent a lot of variety and diversity to the sound. I think like personally like the first generation of Cosmos, so to speak, was not really my thing. Like it's very true to the trap roots, I suppose, but I feel like with just Kanata, it's just all very like downer and negative. So having Nayuta adds a little bit more something to it, and it is a lot more I don't know, enjoyable, I think, to listen to when it's like that. Also, who's giving these kids guns? Let's see, they're up against... So, I don't know if you guys were, like, how tuned in you all are. I've been up for a little bit today. So, we actually now have, like, the lineups. So, the way that the Battle of Unity is going to work is that, they're going to have, like, the individual units are going to be up against each other within the Battle of Unity. So there are the big groups. You have the Revengers and the Avengers. I've been joking in my head. It's like the Marvel Avengers versus the Tokyo Revengers. That's how I've been like conceptualizing this whole time. And like within the larger groups, though, because it's Avengers versus Revengers, you also have individual groups up against each other. And then the cumulative, I guess, points or like winners, I guess, maybe will go on, or they win and they all get new songs. So Cosmos is going to be up against Goku Luck in this one, I guess. And I think like some of the I was reading some of the comments that people had. So their ideas about why they are the way they are is that Cosmos and Goku Luck both were the ones who lost in the previous to Bay. And so, oh my god, I can't mute that. Okay, but they were both the ones who lost to Bay in the final showdown, and so that's kind of their thought on why Cosmos and Goku Luck are going to be up against each other. But it is kind of funny then if you think about that in the context, because throughout the song, the Cosmos' song, their song is all about kind of like committing a crime. Whereas Goku Luck are the ones who are in prison, and they're talking a lot about like, oh yeah, you're gonna like play it tough, like you're a criminal, while like put up or shut up. You guys are all out there. So I think that's really interesting, actually, from like a meta perspective. Let's see here. I've got to like read the comments now that I'm catching up. Honestly, in my head, I like the mental image of like Kanata by himself, and he's just like talking to a puppet. I think that's really funny. Like he's talking to like a puppet of Nayuta the whole time. Like it's like a little Nayuta Muppet. I could see it. Assign Marvel characters to Paradox Live characters, and they make fan art of it. Oh my god. Who is Mikey in the Tokyo Revengers arc of the Revengers team? Oh my god, please tell me I haven't had issues again. I will be so paranoid. Okay. Oh god, am I being copyrighted again? Oh no, I'm not. Okay. I think we're good. No, yes, no. Okay, we should be fine. I think we're fine. Mikey's voice actor is exactly the same as Yohei's. Which is very funny to me, I think. Actually. Who else is in that? Someone else. Oh, Hokusai's voice actor is Kazutora? Because I made a joke once. I was like, if I had a nickel for every time that Shuntoki has voiced a gangster character with tiger tattoos, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. So, alright. Sorry guys, I like panicked because I'm like paranoid from last time, but I think I've done it. I think we managed to survive. We're doing alright. Also, welcome to the people who are stopping in. We're just kind of talking over the music videos. We're kind of sort of listening, sort of not listening. Guys, I love this music video. Okay, I'm biased. Okay, and also I would argue, yeah, the first Akane Yasuda music video is not super great. I mean, none of their first music videos were super great. But I would say that ever since Road to Legend, Akane Yasuda music videos have just gone off so hard, and I think this is not an exception. I love the reds, the dangerous vibes. When this came out, I was all over like Twitter/X, and I was just like delving into like the significance of things. For example, there's like the Hanya mask is in here. Okay, if you guys aren't super familiar with like Japanese mask theater, but the Hanya mask, which is that demon mask that everyone kind of knows from anime, it represents like it's both like the agony and sorrow of like a scorned woman, but also her rage, and like her basically kind of becoming a demon. And so I think it's really fascinating that they have this kind of symbol in there, because it kind of feels very relevant to the struggle of perhaps a specific character. I also really like the Two-Face thing. Even though they're talking about their own Two-Face, I think that it is actually kind of really significant in terms of the larger themes of this situation. Girl rage it is, dude. Oh my gosh. Honestly, Iori's verses go so hard. I really love his like kind of more vocalizing, like singing parts. Also, some other fans were commenting, they're like, I love that they're getting all of their value out of this like roaring tiger graphic. Oh my god, there he is. My husbando. Oh my gosh. Dude, honestly, I one of the really cool things that I appreciate about Akanyatsura so much is how they have so much diversity. Akanyatsura has done like more West Coast gangster rap. They've done more reggaeton and like Latin stuff. They've done some that are almost like borderline kind of like reggae. They've done some more Japanese traditional sounding ones, and then they even did like a big band kind of swing song with "This Is How We Roll." Like they just hit every single time. Also, I have to talk so much about this, that verse that Zen has. First off, I love Zen saying basically a cab. Shout out to anti-establishment Zen. I love it. But also, so he has this line in here that's about, I love that this is also most replayed. So a lot of people have like a lot of different interpretations of this part. Personally, to me, I think that this is his white flag, because I, like, even in Japan, like, the concept of a white flag as a symbol of surrender is not, like, something that's lost, right, in translation. Like, that's kind of a universal sign of surrender. And so, to me, I interpreted this line as him saying he's raising his white flag, like, he's leaving, he's surrendering his, like, police role. And even though that flag was dyed with red, he ends up, he still raises it and he still waves it, you know? And I think that's what it's representing. I think it's representing his split. And that's why I was really surprised, though, that Akan Yasura is not going up against Goku Luck. They're going up against Bei, which I have a lot of feelings. I'm excited. I'm like worried for my boys. I just want one Akan victory. If we could bring them to win one round to Paradox Live, by God, I want to see that for them. I believe in them. But yeah, oh my God, dude, Iori and Enka, so good. Just, oh my God, so good. Let's see. I liked Rayo as well. I think Rayo got to be a little more edgy in this one. And he did that little, like, da-da-da-da thing that he does sometimes. And I think that also served very well. Because I think that sometimes when you have a harder song, it can be a little tricky to fit in Rayo. Because he has that, like, cute baby voice, so to speak. And I think they did a really good job incorporating it into the song that has a more dangerous tone. Where did I see who goes against who? So they're doing a stream, I think earlier today, / this morning, / last night, depending on your time zone. And they were announcing them. So they've actually just been announced for me in my time zone this morning. And so within the Battle of Unity now, we have this lineups. Cosmos versus Goku Luck. Akan Yatsura versus Bei. Visti versus Inmate. And who's left? Amprul versus the Cat's Whiskers. I'm so sorry, Amprul and Cat's Whiskers. But yes. I want Akan Yatsu to win so much. Like, alright, let's just put it into perspective, right? This is still crazy to me, and I'm never gonna get over this. The last time that Akan Yatsura was up against Bei was in Vibes, and they lost, like, Rowdies. The song that's just an absolute banger lost to Fabulous, which is good, but it's not Rowdies. And not only did they lose, they lost by like 4 million points. It feels so unjust. But I do think, after like even the Cosmos battle, I do feel like, even though I'm still bitter about it, I don't want to talk about it, but I do think that it really showed that Akan Yatsura really has generated a lot more of a base, and I do think that a lot of people feel really strongly about Akan Yatsura. Now, granted, it's going to be tricky because I don't know how many people have like Akan Yatsura as their number one favorite. There are those people out there, obviously, I'm here, but I do think it might be a little bit of a challenge, because in a battle where everybody is voting for everyone, sort of, their bias, or their Oshi is gonna kind of win out. And so I'm really hoping that Akan Yatsura can pull this one off, because obviously the Bei machine is intimidating. The Bei fans are wild. That would have been interesting, just someone, Inmate versus Akan Yatsura, man. It'd be like all the emotions versus some of the emotions. I mean, yeah, I really hope so. I would like Guys, do you know how much I want Akan Yasuda to beat Bay? Like, Bay is all like, yeah, we were the champions last time, and then Akan Yasuda shows up and just rocks them. Oh my god. Don't even mess with me. Dude, oh my god, Rowdy's is so good. I think that honestly, because like Akan Yatsura brought their best. Like this song, I'm not saying it's their best song. It is definitely up there. But they really brought it. I think some of the groups, like I said earlier with Cosmos, I think Cosmos' song, it's not a bad song. It's good. It's just very safe for them. You know, it's true to their whole like trap vibe. It's got their whole like we want to get our money, except for we won the money and then we gave it away, but we want to get our money up, etc. You know, it was very Cosmez. Whereas I do really like that Akan Yatsura is always trying something a little bit different. But with that being said, Bay is also a group that tends to do really different things. They always are doing something a little bit different. Like it's all kind of that generally like pop sort of sound with sort of I don't want to say like club music because I don't think EDM is the right word, but like they have that kind of like hype music. I guess it sounds kind of young, like young people music. So they're both kind of groups that are very heavily innovative in that respect, and so it'll be an interesting matchup, I think. I just someone I would agree. I think that I really do want to see some more development because I feel like one of the weaknesses of Road to Legend was it did feel like a lot of stagnation in terms of like developing lore. Because I feel like a lot of the lore that was revealed in the later parts of Road to Legend was just stuff we already knew, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that none of the dramas after, like, I don't know, like, Trust or anything weren't good. I just felt like they just didn't really give a lot of, like, new contents. Like, I think that, you know, we got some of, like, Ryu's backstory. We got some of, like, the Ryoga and Satsuki, and then, like, Zen and Inukai. But then, like, I feel like to some extent, it was kind of just like, oh, we're going to sideline all that stuff because now we have the finalists who are, like, Bae, Cosmez, and Goku Luck. And no offense to Bae or Cosmez, but, like, the whole first part of Paradox Live was about them. So it's kind of like, yep, we're still doing the same thing. Like, okay, thanks. We did get some Anne lore, which was nice because Anne is, like, the redheaded stepchild of Bae to some extent. Like, Hajun's, like, the favorite child, and then, like, Alan's in there. But, I don't know. I do really agree in the sense that I think the lore could be a lot more in-depth. I'm going to keep playing this, by the way, because I realize I have not been playing it in the background. That's interesting, Sword. I feel like Akan Yatsura went so hard on this song. This song is genuinely... I can't wait for it to hit Spotify because I will be playing it on repeat forever. Also, hello, yes, I have returned. Sasha, I get what you mean, and that's kind of what I mean when I say, like, it's sort of the same general genre of, like, popular music, so to speak, you know what I mean? That's how I kind of feel about Cosmez to some extent. They're all kind of trap music, so they all kind of say the same. One of the cool things I think that I really love about Akan Yatsura is they're all over the place. But they all do all of them well, in my opinion. Also, again, these visuals are so cool. Yeah, I will say the Akan Taiko was, like I said, it was very, like, swing big band-ish to me. It made me think a lot of You Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me from Aladdin. That was the vibe it gave me, which was such a weird change of pace. Like, I loved the vibe, but it was also just like, oh, okay. God, their music videos are so good, though. What the heck? I love them. Chibi Panda, I kind of feel that. Okay, so here's my meta take. First off, this song, I genuinely like this song. Okay, I granted don't listen to a lot of J-pop, so I don't know if it's like I'm like, oh, this is cute, and then people who listen to J-pop are like, this is garbage, this is mid. I don't know. I have no idea. I think it's fine for what it is. But my meta take is that like because they're indie now, Visti made this music video themselves, and that's why it's like kind of goofy. It's kind of cheesy, but I kind of love it for them. Like they're trying really hard. Like Kansuro and Aoi are up like 3 o'clock the day before. They're like finishing the editing cuts. They're like, should I put another layer of glitter over this part right here? But yeah. I think the part with them zooming on the rug is so funny. I really loved Kasai. Some people were comparing their most recent this to Bring It Back to Rebellion in like a bad way, but Rebellion is like genuinely my favorite song. I love the edgy parts. I think that Visti sounds so like put together in this song. Like there aren't parts that are like I think the rap was really well incorporated is what I mean, because I feel like sometimes in Visti songs it's like we're gonna stop this pop song and then we're gonna start like rapping for a little bit and then we're gonna go back to the pop song. This one really, they're all wrapped in really nice. It flows really well, and I think it's very cute. It stays true to their whole vibe. So like the song by itself, I think is genuinely very good. But I do think a lot of people were kind of looking at this music video going, "What the heck is this? What is happening?" So I think that some people are really kind of because we are visual people. You know, when you watch a music video that's not great, you're kind of like, "Oh, well, this kind of sucks." Like, for example, for me, when I watched the Trigger music video for Goku Luck, the song, I think, goes super hard, but I remember watching the music video and going, this music video sucks. Like, no offense to whoever worked on these music videos, like, I appreciate your work, video editing is hard, but also, like, this is really goofy. I think it's really funny, but it's really goofy looking. I always wonder too, Gia, if like I don't know, like I wonder if maybe it's like I do feel like Akan Yasura maybe has I would be curious. I'm trying to put my words together. I'd be curious to see like how Akan Yatsura's like popularity in like Japan compares to like Akan Yatsura popularity outside of Japan. Like I do wonder if there's kind of like a bias because of the way that they kind of are, even though like I do think people obviously like Yakuza characters and gangsta characters and like Yankee characters, but I do wonder if like also they're just maybe the music that they make, if it has a wider appeal outside of Japan than just inside of Japan, you know what I mean? Because they have a lot of that like kind of Latin and other kinds of influences, so I do wonder how that kind of impacts them. Dude, for real, they're just like straight up glitter bombs, that whole music video. they use those glitter effects so hard. I guess for my Visti video, I should have just been using the glitter effect constantly. Yeah, so I think like when some people were watching it, they're like, oh god, Visti's is such a flop. And I was like, I didn't... So when I listened to Visti's song the first time, though, I like every morning when a new song dropped, I'd like listen to it while I was getting ready for work, so I wasn't really watching the music video. And so I was like, oh, this is really cute. I don't really get why people think it sucked. And then I like watched the music video. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see how you could watch this and go, ugh. It's kind of goofy, but I think it also works for them. I do, like I said, I really like the idea that they like made this themselves. They're like, yes, more glitter. Oh, man. Okay, so, Rue, I have a theory. This is my theory. I think that Visti is still in its, like, fetus stage. Like, they haven't entered their, like, arc point yet. And I think that after they hit that point, they will have development. That is what I deeply hope for them, right? And I like I said, I think that the Road to Legend, a lot of the writing was mediocre at best. I don't think it moved a lot, and I think it also didn't help again that we had like Bay and Cosmos made it to the finals because again we just have the retreading of the first parts where it's like okay yeah we already know the characters we get it. Where again I obviously I'm extremely biased in favor of Akanyasa and the Cat's Whiskers in this, but also it was kind of like, okay, who's gonna win these battles? The guy who's like, or the group that has a literal human experiment with all this like secret organization that's running behind the scenes and has a literal entire like hidden complex where they were running child experiments, or the three college students who won like who went almost all the way to the final last time and who are having trouble with a printer. Definitely the printer kids. Like or with like Akanyatsu where it's like, okay, so on one hand we have this mounting tension with Zen coming to terms with the fact that he was, really traumatized by his encounter with Yudo or Inukai in the past, and now he is coming forth with that information to his family and admitting that that is like their history and whatever. Or we could have the twins who won last time, who won the money, gave away the money, chose to stay back in the slums, and now their arc is that they're still twins and they still only trust each other, and Kanata's just a little bit annoyed sometimes because Nayuta is a different person than he is. Let's make sure the twins win again. So like from a narrative perspective, I'm kind of salty about how the finals went because it was like all the really cool lore got sidelined so that the two really popular groups won again. And I kind of wish that there was a little bit more. I think that maybe the writers were like, oh, if we put out these teasers, like morsels of information, people will definitely vote in favor of that, and it just didn't happen. So now they're like, okay, we got to come up with a way that doesn't happen again so we can get our lore out. So I'm really, maybe I shouldn't have such high hopes, but I do have a lot of high hopes for the Battle of Unity because I really want that lore to come out finally. Because there are all of these things that still need to happen that we still need. And I think that if Visti has that character arc, like with Cosmos in the first arc, how you start off with Kanata's songs being very kind of like one note, it's sad, da-da-da, and then after that, Cosmos' sound completely evolved. Absolutely has changed. Ever since Better Days, it's been entirely different than it was the first part of Paradox Live. And I think that Visti needs to reach that point. We just haven't got there yet. Yeah, I'm not surprised the Cat's Whiskers lost, but I'm extremely disappointed from a lore perspective. It is so frustrating from a lore perspective. Rue, I agree with you. I still stand by the fact, I think that they were really expecting Akanyatsuru to win, and when they didn't win, they were like, oh crap. Like, but I feel like they probably knew deep down that the Cat's Whiskers was not gonna win. I don't understand why the Cat's Whiskers is not more popular. I guess like maybe people just don't want to listen to more like lo-fi stuff, but their song is super good right now. And they're also just really wholesome. They're so sweet. I wish more people liked the Cat's Whiskers as much as they like Bay or Cosmos, because the Cat's Whiskers is really good. I know, dude. The kitty heads are the most criminally underrepresented part of the fandom. The person who is kind of that I was reading a post from on Twitter who was talking about the matchup of Ampril versus the Cat's Whiskers was like the ones who always lose, and I was like, oh god, it's true, but it hurts. I think it'll be interesting though. Like, I find. Guys, imagine, think about Ryu and Shiki interacting with Dongha. I think that's very cool. Time for Game is such a banger, guys. Alright, cool, I'm going to play this in the background. I think that this is not one of Ampril's stronger ones. I typically like Ampril's music. I think that the mixture of the orchestral sound with hip-hop is such a primo blend in music, but I just feel like this is not it. This is kind of like... It's not bad. I just don't think it's one of their better songs. Oh, I just realized I should have been... I do, in fact, up here have my tier list. So let's see here. So far we've got Gotta Go. I think Gotta Go. It's good. I feel like Gotta Go. It's good. It sounds like Cosmez, but I think it's solid. It's catchy. I'll put it A. Let's see. Magic Carpet Ride. I think it's good. I think it's solid. Visty. I think it's better than some of their other songs, but I don't think it didn't really try to. How can I put this? It's not doing anything new. So I'm gonna put it like a solid B. That I in my head, I'm working off of like school grading system. A B is good. You put in the effort. You did better than average. You're solid. I'm gonna pause that for a second because while I'm doing this. Solid. It's good. It's good effort. You have room for growth, right? Akan Yatsura is S tier because they have no room to grow. They've peaked. They are the S tiers of the media, in my opinion. Akan Yatsura is legendary on all levels. I'm really glad, honestly, that you, Sasha, that you like the chorus. I felt like this chorus was kind of like maybe some of the reason I felt it was like in my personal opinion. But I'm really glad that other people can listen to it and get a completely different thing out of it. Let's see here. I think Do As I Say was really good. Let's see here. I'm gonna put Again and Again. Oh man, I might put it at like a C. Just because I feel like I have expectations of Ambrul being in the upper, like up here. And to me personally, the song was not as good as it could have been. So I'm going to put it in a C. I'm sorry, Ambrul. That's a passing grade though. So you still pass. It's just, you might have to study a little bit more next time. And really improve your mastery of the material. I know Dongha already studies a lot though. So that's probably asking a lot of him. But, I mean, as usual, you know, I think that Ambrul's music videos they look good. It is a lot, but, you know, that's kind of their thing, is, like, maximalism, I guess. I like that they also mentioned the Revengers, specifically, calling out their groups. Let me read these comments here. Yeah, and I do feel like Shiki got some good character exploration. In the first part because he was so integral into the Cosmez conversation. But I do think it'd be interesting to get more of Shiki outside of him being a friend of Nayuta's. You know what I mean? I feel like I would love to see more Akan Yatsura and Shiki interactions because I think those are great. I love seeing them hang out together and stuff like that. Though I know, I'm so sorry, Dongha. Like, don't show your parents this report card. I do think, like, and when I think about these songs, I do think that, like, for the original four groups, it is in a lot of ways a return back to their roots, right? I said that for, like, the Cat's Whiskers. I feel like the Cat's Whiskers is such a return to that, like, East Coast, soulful, almost R&B kind of influence. I think it's really good. It's really smooth. It's very, like, it's kind of melancholy. It's a 100% return back to what they're good at. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that some of the other songs, they were really trying to be more peppy to kind of match the energy of, like, Bae and the others. But I think also it was kind of like, we should go back to what we're good at. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we live. And so I think a lot for the original four groups, they kind of went, let's rein it back in. We got very experimental, sort of, but we should do what we're good at. I will say it's interesting because I feel like this is the first Ambrul music video that has not had them in, like, you know, the gothic houses or something. They're just kind of here with, like, diamonds and flowers and stuff. You're not gonna show off your sad, empty mansion. But yeah, I mean, you know, the orchestral parts, like I said, the backtrack for Ambrul was always great, in my opinion. And I think that, like, also, like, during the two-man show with the parts that I've seen, I did not pay for a ticket. I have definitely not illicitly viewed it from people who kindly shared it to me. But the parts that I have seen, like, clipped and stuff from the two-man show with Ambrul and Bae, the voice actors from Ambrul are so cute. They're genuinely so sweet. They're running out and greeting everybody. And then like Marina was like, I'm Amp, and then I always forget his name, but Chung Sung's voice actor is like, I'm Rule, and they're like, together we're Amp Rule. It was really funny. It was great. I think they have really great energy whenever they're on stage. They're just extremely engaging. And so whenever I'm like talking about Amp Rule, I guess I'm always like, I don't want to like put, I don't know, I don't want anyone to like assign blame or guilt to the voice actors, because I think they're just genuinely earnestly trying their best. And I think it's really sweet how much of a like a Ha-Jun simp that Marina is as well, which I think is really sweet. Let's see here. I do think like, yeah, Shiki and Kanata's like interactions about losing Nayuta were really shortened by Nayuta popping out of nowhere. But it would have been kind of cool to get more interactions between the two of them. Team Rocket moment. I think, yeah, I think Kanata and Shiki definitely have potential as friends. I also, I wish that there were other medias that showed like the short stories from like the light novel, or the the light novel short stories, or the fan book short stories. Sorry, in the fan book short story, there's like a little for the Cat's Whiskers from the first fan book. It talks about Shiki getting ready for his like sports day at school, like the sports festival, the high school classic of like anime and stuff, and he's in like the three-legged race. And so he's like he's trying to practice with all the different members of the Cat's Whiskers, but like Yohei is not a good fit because he is not very cooperative. And then like Ryu is just like going crazy and dragging Shiki around. And then like Reo just like happens to stroll by at the right time, and they're like, "Oh, you're about the right height. This is perfect." And like as they're practicing, like Shiki's all thinking about, he's like, oh, Reo would be so cool and popular if he went to like normal classes, and his hair smell like his shampoo is like really sweet and it smells good. Oh my god. And I'm just like, okay, Shiki, I see you. I do feel like they should, like, it would be cool if they were able to build more upon that like friendship or relationship, I guess. Just because they're like, they are similar in age, they both go to the same school, they just go to different like classes at the different times, but I think it would be, they have like a nice dynamic, I think, because like Reo is kind of in your face, and I don't know, like, I'm cute, everyone pay attention to me, and Shiki's like, please don't look at me, do not perceive my existence. I think it'd be kind of fun. The light novel is you can purchase the light novel, obviously. That is the what is the actual name of it? Hidden Memory. You can purchase that one, or Snakebrain Translation / Jackal on Twitter. You can also, he's got a website too. He has translated the stories from the light novel, both the light novel and the short stories from the fan book. And so if you go to his website, which is, what is his website? There we go. Go to phantom.moe. It's here. And then, yeah, you can just find them here. They're translated down here. So there you go. That's where you could find them. Shout out to Jackal for producing translations. I think I feel like I'm like low key kind of fond of Reo Shiki. I think it's a sweet couple, but they're also like teenagers. So I obviously, as an adult, I'm like, from my perspective, I'm like, I wouldn't expect it to last forever, but I think it would be a cute thing for them to interact. I would like to see them like to like help each other grow, you know. Anyway. There you go. I guess. I feel like Nayuta would just be like, I'm not putting up with it. So I'm going home. I'm tired. Anyway, what do we got? Who's next? We've got, oh, right. Also, somebody pointed out that Again and Again is AAA, and then Bigger Bigger Bang is BBB. the secret Reo Shiki agenda. I'll admit, like, this was one of those ones that first time I listened to, I was like, okay. And then after a couple lessons, I'm like, okay, this is, like, catchy. It does get stuck in my head. I like that they called back to the Uchu. They're putting Uchu back in here. I do want to know why it's Gila Gila Burn. Are they like talking about like Gila monsters, like the lizard? Am I missing something? Is it just the way that they're writing like Gita Gita, like shining? And they wrote it with an L for some reason? I always have like questions about things like that. Oh yeah, poor Hokusai. I feel like Hokusai kind of gets like, he like melts into the background sometimes, and when it comes to Akan development. We know so little about Hokusai, to the point that I genuinely forgot that there was a note that like his mother died at some point when I made the video. But yeah, I don't know, like it really does feel like there could be so much more, and there just isn't anything about Hokusai. He's just there, which is rough for him. I do like that they are still, you know, trying out here to, again, like, Bay is still trying to, like, innovate. They're doing new things. They're still trying new sounds. They're kind of really hitting it hard. Because I think it would have been really easy to put out kind of a mediocre Bay song, you know, because they could ride the being champion or whatever of the last round. So it is nice to see that they're still keeping up a high energy vibe. Also, in my head, obviously, I'm like, BBB, Bang Brave Bravern. I'm still obsessed with Bravern. It's been like almost a year now. It's fine. They're doing completely unrelated to Paradox Live. Bravern is doing a hotel collab. It's something. Hokusai X and like like Hokusai and like Anne from Bay. Huh. Oh yeah, I think, dude, there are so many cute moments with like just like Akan Yatsura and the Cat's Whiskers kids. Those like kid groups combined are always really sweet. And oh wait, hold on, just someone. Where am I looking for this AT symbol? Should I? We're looking for the Alter Trigger symbol, I guess. Somewhere. Who could say? Bay's white clothes, interesting. I think it's kind of like I don't know, maybe like it's like a fresh look, right? They're like looking to start over again. Like a fresh start. Akan Katsura is my favorite. Yeah, I'm like I want some music with some like some beat in it. So like to me, I felt like Akan Katsura like chillin'. It's like cute, but it's also kind of slow. So it's kind of like eh. But like that's my personal taste. But I do think that it's like a really sweet little interactions that they have. Like they're very wholesome. I like it. That's okay. Just someone. I was just like, oh my god, did I miss something? Am I like? Was I missing the hidden symbols? Oh, you're right. It could have been the Avengers symbol. Good shout, good shout. After the line. Is it like the little like... Hold on. I feel like this is like the opposite of one of those sensory videos. Like, there's so much going on right now. Also, I keep on mishearing Bigger Bigger Bang as Be the Bigger Bang. Which I'm like, it's not. It's just in my head. It's like, Be the Bigger Bang. It's not the words. Alright, now we get to the... Guys, they tried so hard. They put so much effort in this music video. Like, shout out, honestly, genuinely. I can't hear anything. There you go. Turn it up a little bit. Also, like, I feel like Planarico, like, the artist for the series, just puts all their love into the cat's whiskers. Good for them. Somebody has to. Peter Pan. They're just so classy. They're so cool. I love Yohei's, like, his flow so much. But also, this man is constantly smoking. Yohei's gonna be dead of, like, emphysema by 40. I'm so sorry. Look at him. I love him, like, perched on these books. I could see it. I could see Yohei being kind of the focus. I feel like Yohei is like like he's doing like a pose that like a girl in leggings at the gym would do in like Instagram. Oh, we did get Kurobuchi in this video, which is like kind of incredible, honestly. I love Ryu's chaotic little dancing too. The stage actor for Ryu is incredible. Like, every time I think about the stage shows, he did such a good job of capturing his kind of chaotic energy, you know? I do like that Shiki now also, from like that meta perspective, is a lot more confident when he's delivering his lines. Like, you can tell that he's like he still has kind of like a quiet delivery, but he's still very solid. For a second also, when this dropped, I was like, I swear to God, is Shiki grittying? I thought he was hitting the gritty and I about lost it. Yohei mirror selfie cannon. It could have been. It could have been the same person. I'm not really sure. If you are saying that with confidence, Red, I will believe you, because I didn't pay a lot of attention to who made it, but it looks fantastic. I was joking. I'm like, they also, because they don't have a face, it reminded me of like Let's Dance, you know, like the video game for like the Wii. So I was like, oh man, the cat's whiskers, Let's Dance, let's go. Or Just Dance. Just Dance. It's been years, guys. I'm so sorry. But that's what it made me think of. Ryu and Reo would encourage Shiki. Dude, think about Reo getting Shiki to do, like, TikTok dances with him. That's the vibe I feel that Reo would have if he influenced Shiki's life. Shiki gritty cannon. Like, get the images of their, like, the animations of them dancing, and then, like, do editing yourself to make them do other, like, Fortnite dances. Oh my god. Yeah, I would love to see like a Paradox Live Just Dance, and then like you go and do like you do Rowdies, and it's just the part from like the Dope Show where they're just waving the towels over their head. Alright. This is one of the ones. Inmate is always kind of one of the groups that I feel like I have to listen to a couple times before I can appreciate it. So the first time I was like, oh, okay. But the more I listened to it, I did actually really like... I wouldn't say, like, really like. I did like the song. I do also think, too, that, like, Inmate is just kind of not my personal music taste. So to me, whenever I hear it, I'm always kind of like, yeah, that's music. It's competent. It's nice. It's just not really my thing. So here, let me go back here. So we've got Bigger, Bigger, Bang. I think it's really catchy. I think it's a nice return. I think the video is good. I think that it's very. I think it's. I think they did really well. I'm not gonna put it S tier because I think that it's in line with other good Bay songs, if that makes sense. To me, S tier is like it completely blew my expectations out of the water, which I do think that Bring It Back did. I also am going to put the Cat's Whiskers Time for Game up here because I think, like, I didn't really know what to expect of the Cat's Whiskers this time around. Because I feel like their last couple songs, like I said, they've been trying to really, like, hit a different sort of sound, but them going back to this kind of soulful, melancholy, lo-fi sound is fantastic. I'm going to put it up on S tier for me. Also, if you guys have not voted and you would like to, I have a link in the video description, so there's that. All right, cool. Here we go. I assume, like, I feel like if things are not being said, let's see here, KS125, I feel like if things are not being said about social media, that it exists, right? Like, the fact that Zen does not constantly post physique updates on his, like, Twitter feed, right? He's a gym gay, okay? Somewhere Zen has an Instagram and it's every other day or whatever where he posts physique updates of him flexing in a mirror. You know that exists somewhere in canon universe. It's just we don't get to see it. So the same way, I feel like Rayo is definitely making TikTok somewhere. We just don't get to see it. Oh my god, imagine Rayo and he's doing those like NPC like TikTok lives because he's like trying to get his like gacha game money, He's like, somebody give me a rose or whatever. I don't watch. I don't have a TikTok. I don't know what TikTok's like, but that's what I assume Rayo is doing to try to pay for his gacha addiction. I will say, like, Itsuki always just brings it. His flow is incredible. I still hate Rokuta's finger piercings. They make me so uncomfortable. I've been cooking a lot lately, and so I guess, like, if you cook at all, thinking about trying to cook things with, like, finger piercings, disgusting, awful, just egregious. I mean, yeah, I am. I think also, too, because I'm, like, an adult, I tend to like the adult characters better, right? Like, I'm like, yeah, I can relate to being like in your late 20s or early 30s and just trying to get by in life. So when it's like my struggle is being 19 and I'm angry, I'm like, I can't really relate. I was once 19 and angry, but now I'm 30 and tired. Kantaro makes a call-out thread on K. I can't wait for Kantaro's alt account, Pian, to just like make a whole thread on like why K from Inmate is actually toxic. I love that. But I don't know. That's like the part of the song that I like the most. I'm so sorry. I think the music video is fine too. I'm not gonna say it's like standout. It's kind of, this one makes me think a lot of Again and Again, in the sense that it's like they're not really in any specific setting, and it's kind of just like a lot of effects happening in this particular. I guess here they're in like a beach with some beach grass, but like it's mostly just like the visuals of what are happening around them, kind of like the way it was in Again and Again. Kenta trolling. Kenta specifically showing up to the Visti one just to be like, lol. Who's this pink one? Nice bucket hat loser. Well, you got that gummy bear on the front of it for later. I do like that Inmate did a collab with Microsoft XP. Oh man, I'm now I want to make an edit where it's just that like Microsoft XP, like the hill and grass and like sky, and then just like edit the inmate sprites onto it. That's the vibe I'm getting here. Okay, that's interesting. Just someone. Oh man, I see, and I think the other thing too, though, is I genuinely like. I'm not gonna begrudge anyone their taste in characters, right? I think it's really cool. I love it when everyone can have a favorite character, and it's different for different reasons, right? People like characters for different reasons, and I think that's awesome. I genuinely love being able to talk with people who have different favorites and can talk about why they're their favorites and what they really like, what speaks to them and stuff. I think that's all super neat. So, don't ever feel like just because my personal favorites are Akan Yatsura and they're objectively, obviously better than everyone else's favorites. Like, no, I think it's really cool. Everyone has a favorite. They all speak to something about, characteristics that you admire or that you relate to or whatever else. Like, those are always just super neat. But yeah, so for me, I think, Residence, it was pretty solid, I think. I think it was, I'm also obviously really biased. For me, people were saying earlier, like, Bay songs all sound the same to them, Cosmo songs all sound the same. To me, Inmate songs all kind of sound the same. I think it was good. I think it was fine. I'm gonna put it at B. I'm so sorry. I know I'm biased to the older groups. If your group has an adult in it over the age of 25, I probably like it more. But no, I think it was fine. It was good. I want to remind everybody even from a grade standpoint, right? B is good. Okay, B is not bad. It's not an A because I think it could have been better probably. Like, I think Saga was their best song so far, right? And I think that Evolution was also pretty good. The Residence, I think it was fine. It was good. It was serviceable. It sounds like Inmate. It kept to their vibe. I think the music video is fine. I think it's fine. I don't think it's bad per se or just average. I think it's slightly above average, but it's not quite like, wow, A+, in my personal opinion. That's why it's my personal opinion. Let's see here. Content, dude, I want to see the, like, noisy teenager group. Like, I don't know, maybe the aggressively noisy teenager group, and it's just, like, Kento, Reo, and, like, Kanata and Kantoro in, like, a shuffle team. And they're just the whole time, they're just roasting each other. They're just, like, yelling at each other. I want to see those four playing Bomberman together, because we got the other, like, the summer team playing Bomberman. The group I want to see playing Bomberman together are Kantaro, Reo, Kenta, and Kanata, because I feel like they would just get heated. They would get so I don't know, they rustled. Their jimmies would be rustled, so to speak. Tilted, that's the word. They'd get tilted. Sorry, I'm trying to speak the slang of the youth. Shiki's in the corner, like, calling home, like, I want to come home. Come pick me up. So this one was one I definitely had to listen to, because at first it was really chaotic, because they have a lot of yelling. As the last couple songs have been. But I do genuinely love the guitar in this. I know a lot of people really liked Ryoga's part. I also really like their music video. I also like their dog sounds. Can we talk about the... Oh no, I clicked the wrong place. Can we talk about the... This is bi representation, guys. Shion saying switch hitter is bi representation. I just want to put that out there. I do. But yeah, now that I guess I know that Goku Luck and Cosmos are going up against each other, is kind of interesting, I guess. Because I think that, again, you have this group that's talking about being born this way, kind of being the hungry mob, of being kind of these, they're wild and uncontrollable, because, and they're in this system where being the strongest is the one who sets the rules or whatever. I think that's very much to Cosmes's kind of vibe, and their whole, like, shtick being like, we're from the slums and everything's bad. Like, I think that, I don't know. I think that for this one, they can't do the same thing they did with Visti, right? In the last time they went up against each other in Rage, because they can't be like, oh, you, like, rich kid. They'll be like, oh. So, you know, I think it'll be really interesting, because Cosmos will have to, at least in some level, acknowledge the fact that they've got some street cred here. Bye, King Shion. Shout out. Sorry, I gotta read the comments now that it's been a second. Yeah, I do think that, honestly, Goku Luck always has some really good guitar. Like, I love the guitar intro of Trigger. I'm also just, like, a huge... I love electric guitar in, like, everything. If there's a good electric guitar kind of sound in it, I'll probably like it. Let's see here. The G in Goku Luck stands for Girl Rage. Yeah, I think this song is really good. I always really love Ryoga's, like, in the background. He's always, like, barking and stuff. I think that's really cool, the way that they sample that in. Yeah, I could see, Rue, how that could be, like, a thing, trying to keep up with Kento's delivery, because it's crazy sometimes. Let's see, if they ever did a concept switching for the groups. Oh my god, that would be... So, Inmate, actually, somebody was talking about in the Inmate and Cosmez two-man show, Inmate covered a Cosmez song. So, hypothetically, KS125, that could happen. Honestly, because Visti is going to do a two-man show with Akan Yatsura. Could you imagine Visti covering Rowdies? I would lose my mind. That would be so wild. I want to see Visti cover Rowdies now. Punk Visti could cure me. This is what I'm saying, though. I really want Visti to undergo their, like, in-universe, like, development arc, and develop a new sound. The way that Cosmos developed a new sound. The way that, to some extent, like, Shiki has developed a new sound. I want Visti to develop that new sound. And for, like, Aoi to get some character development so they can step out of their, like, safe princess box. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see that development. We need it. That'd be so funny. Alright, let's get back here. There we go. Man, dude, Kento would be out here, like, busting the balls of whatever jackasses are, like, hacking the Internet Archive right now. Where's Kento when we need him? Okay, real quick. So here's the thing. I'm going to talk about this in my Goku Look video. Hold on, I got to, like, go back all the way here. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this more in my Goku Look video, because this is actually a really interesting thing. I found out completely by accident, by the way. So in my classes, we were talking about dog ownership and the requirements of, like, dog ownership in Germany, because I am a teacher in my actual life. And on there, I kept on noticing that all these, like, states in Germany had, like, Tosa dogs banned, or Tosa Inu banned, which led me down a rabbit hole of going, like, well, what's Tosa Inu? Tosa Inu is a Japanese fighting dog breed. They are the only breed in Japan that is legally allowed to be in dog fights. So Ryoga's family name, Tosa, is literally the name of this, like, fighting dog breed, which makes sense then why his like, rapper name is Pitbull, because Pitbull is kind of like a really well-known fighting dog breed, or a breed, rather, that gets used in fighting. Which also then led me to go, okay, so that must mean that Shion's family name is also a dog breed. And guess what? The Kai in Kaida is also the same as the Kai Inu, which is a breed of dog. So, Mikoshiba, the Shiba in Mikoshiba is written the same way. The Shiba dog, kanji. So they're all dogs. It's Tosa, Kai, and Shiba. And then Inukai's name is just like dog tender, or like a person who like looks after care for dogs. So there you go. That's their names are literally all dogs, and then their group leader is the guy who owns the dogs. I did really think it was really cool though with Ave. So now I was like, see, I get the reference now because I know that Tosa's a fighting dog. Also, Tosa dogs look kind of like mastiffs. They're pretty big. I feel like Ryoga's voice is one of those you probably either like or don't like. You know what I mean? The way he, like, raps. It reminds me a lot of, oh my god, if I could function. It reminds me a lot of the guy in Nobody Knows, who they did Hero's Comeback in Naruto. Like, that was one of, like, the first Shippuden ending, I think. So Ryoga's rapping voice always reminds me exactly of that guy's sound. But also, like, shout out to Shogo Batori, because he's, like, a really young, new voice actor, and he is Ryoga. Ryoga's voice actor. So... I think he does a really good job, too. Yeah, honestly, the dog lore is kind of sad for Ryoga, but it is, in fact, dog lore. So, there you go. Alright, the more I listen to the song, the more I like it. I'm gonna actually put it, like, I think initially, the first time I heard it, I was kind of, like, thinking down here, but having listened to it a couple times, I'm gonna put it up here. I don't know if I would say it's, like, their best song, because I do think it can get a little bit chaotic sometimes, I guess, which is, I think, like, one of the reasons, I think, for me, like, swag kind of falls down here a little bit, because there's just so much going on, and for me, it's almost, I don't know if it's necessarily a processing thing, I just, like, it feels very hectic. It feels like I'm being yelled at from, like, multiple angles, and it, like, I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to, like, listen to. Whereas I think, like, Trigger for me is, like, up here, you know, and that's, like, my personal thing. I wish Trigger were longer, but I think as a song, it's, like, up here. So this one I'm gonna put Born This Way, I think A+. Like, you know, it's a good one. You guys have, like, a high 90, maybe 100% even. They just didn't get that extra bonus question right, so, you know, they're an A. Sing ballads. Oh, man. Ryoga ballad would be very heartfelt. He could, like, sing a song about his mother, and it'd probably be very wholesome. What's my take on the little comics they released? I really liked the little comics. My favorite image from the little comics they released was the one with, in, like, the fan book. Oh no, sorry. You're talking about the ones I was thinking about the little comics from the fan book, the second fan book, which I really like. My favorite image from that is literally the one of like Cosmez, and they just got like a microwave, and it's just the two of them with their hands up in the air, and it says microwave acquired. I think that's such a funny panel. But in the comic strips that they released to go on the YouTube, I'm guessing, are the ones you're talking about. I think that's really nice. It was cool to see, like, the two sides of the different characters. Sorry. Oh, my God. Also, obviously, as a Zen fan, I was excited to see him in his work uniform. I thought, yeah, Toma's was really cute, where he's just, like, in a little, like, blanket bundle. I love how I keep on seeing artwork of just people drawing Toma in his little blanket bundle. The microwave. I just want to, like, use it as a meme format, so anytime I, like, get something new, I'll just erase the microwave and put something else there, and be like, I don't know. What have I gotten recently? All boring adult things. I recently got a new, I don't know, like a new drying mat for my dish rack. new drying mat acquired. Just boring stuff like that. Dude, for real, this feels so much like Budokan is like, alright, we're retiring, so we're gonna go on our honeymoon road trip across America. Have fun, kids, we're going home. Also, if, for those of you who aren't maybe on Twitter, because it is a garbage website full of horrible opinions and the worst takes you've ever read in your life, constantly. But if you aren't on Twitter, you might not have seen that recently somebody was sharing like the hidden track that was I believe it was attached to like the Blu-ray of the anime, which was also expensive. But they had an extra scene with Budokan. So maybe you hadn't heard about that one, but there is like a little scene that was on there between Chisei and Haruomi, in which they like genuinely Chisei is talking to like the illusion of Chisei gets like brought out of Chisei's like metal by Haruomi, and they're like having this conversation, and Chisei's like, "Aren't you worried?" Because like basically he's like, this is probably not the best idea because by using this metal so much, you're probably only gonna live for like. You can't be living that long by the effects of the phantom metal and the trap reactions and all that. It's going to shorten your life. And Haruomi literally is just like, essentially, I would rather live 10 years, like only 10 more years with you rather than live 50 more years without you. And I'm like, wow, the homoerotic subtext became homo text now. It's the text. It's actually, to me, that feels very canon. I don't know. Like, I also kind of passively just feel like they have a lot of strong, implications of there being something there. But also after reading that little particular hidden track, I feel like I'm like, okay, no, so that's like just a thing that was, I guess. Oh my god, dude, for real. Budokan fans are just losing it. So it's crazy. The microwave thing is, you could also find that actually if you go to Snake Brain's like website again. It was there. It's gonna be the fan book like comic translations. So it was the second fan book, and then they all had little like comic strips again. So that's where you'll find it. I think like the Zen one was just about him going grocery shopping, and they're like, "What's the best part about your family?" And he's like, "I can get multiple things that are like limited to one person." So it's like all the boys, and then they're getting like the discounts on things that are limited to one person. Shout out to mom. Yes. So anyway, to me after having read all of that and then watching this, I'm like, I'm glad for them. They were able to get on their honeymoon trip across the U.S., which leads me to the point, Paradox Live American Road Trip when? Because that's an arc I want to see. I want to see the Akan Yatsura boys go to a Waffle House. Dude, yeah, Jackal, honestly, shout out to Jackal again. I shouted him out at the beginning. Shout out to Jackal again. Thank you. So like he's so prompt. He's on top of it. He has such a good archive of stuff. It's really useful. Also, like he's pretty open. So like if you ever have like a problem or you notice like a typo, a lot of times if you like DM him and be like, hey, I noticed there's a typo here on this or something, he's like pretty prompt to respond and like fix it for you. So in my experience anyway, I've done that a couple times. So just because I use a lot of his translations for stuff, I use both his and I use the other one from like the Paradox Live English team on Twitter. I like to have like a couple different translations because obviously I'm not a fluent Japanese speaker or knower of Japanese. I know like basic Japanese a little bit. And so I like having a couple different translations to kind of build my understanding of the vibe of what's going on. So anyway, both good resources. They're all linked in my video descriptions. So anyway, we'll get started. The Waffle House Wendy. Dude, for real? Zen would shut down fights at Waffle House. You know what? Where's oh my god, where the hell are they? The gas is 98 cents? I need to go there. Oh man, he couldn't perform without his buddy though. Oh no, where are all of these guys getting guns? They're in Japan. Well, I guess they're in America now. They probably handed him one when they came in through the airport. Let me see. Hang on. I will post the link in the chat. Oh my gosh. Also, like, I like that they're just, like, in the desert, though. Like, I don't know, they're on Route 66. They're gonna be, like, going to the Grand Canyon or something. Oh, man, let me see here. There is the link to... I'll be posting this on, like, an alternate account, which is not my actual account. Here. Alright, there you go. That's my unrelated YouTube, but I did post the link to the website where Jack will post all his translations, and you can find them. They're all archived there very usefully. He also has, like, an archive of images and stuff like that. Like I said, he's, like, really on top of stuff. But also, like, Buraikan did... they did tour in America. Again, being, like, a huge, massive deal. It's like a Japanese band that they made it to America. I think technically they like went and performed at some music festival in America. I don't even think they toured properly. It was just like they went to America and performed there. So I guess for them it's like a return to America. They have passports, presumably. I mean, Chisei's is going to be like out of date. I guess, I don't know, maybe Haruomi will go alone and then he'll like bring Chisei separate later. Like he'll like pop out of the metal once they get there. Oh, what was I gonna say? No. So anyway, I would like to like return to my thesis statement, my fan theory that Buraikan made a banger anime opening or ending, and that's how they got internationally recognized. Because I feel like that's how you do it, right? Like nobody knew about like Creepy Nuts or something until they did like Bring Bang Bang or whatever, and now everybody knows Creepy Nuts. All right, like if you want to get into the international stage, you got to make a banger Annie song. Like so in universe, my belief, they made an anime song, and that's how Buraikan got internationally popular. But anyway, that's my fan theory. Oh yeah, Kanata's got a lot of like that little, I don't know. Maybe imagine like Kanata, but he has like a body pillow, not like in a weird way, but like just like he just gets like a body pillow of Nayuta that he can like use if Nayuta's away. Oh, see, now they're gonna drink some wine together and like watch the sunset. So sweet of them. Yeah, where are they? 98 cents for a gallon of gas? What year is this? They're at like this diner. Haruomi's trying to work at a diner. What about Haruomi at the Waffle House? Haruomi and Chisei date on their American road trip, stopping at the Waffle House. Oh wait, that's in like, hang on, that one sign was in like Portuguese though. Maybe they're... Also, I just noticed that the gas station says Buraikan on the sign. Haruomi and Zen at the Waffle House. Satsuki's also there. He's like, I don't know, taking orders. There's like a hurricane coming instead of like for the Waffle House gang. Satsuki just goes out front and fist fights the hurricane. Wait a second. Oh, it's like Susie's Diner. I was gonna say, like, whose name is on there? I really like this song. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna say, like, oh my god, it was like, I like it. It's like a solid I like it. It's good. I don't know if I'm gonna say it's an S tier. I think it's an A tier. I think like an S tier for me from Buraikan is Buraikan is Back. Buraikan is Back is the S tier of S tiers. You know what I mean? Like they dropped that. Oh my god, right? Like this one, I feel like it's solid. It's not like the peak of their performances, but it's definitely good. So I'm gonna put it at A. These are my final rankings. I'm so sorry. They're too old. They're not. But yeah, that's I think what I'm gonna settle on for that. Going to Bucky's, Bass Pro, Waffle House, and they can go get married by Elvis in Vegas. Let's see, would book a hotel. Why would he book a room for two? It's just they even if there are two of them, it'd only be one bed. He just booked for a double, like a double bed, right? I think every day, every night to me is also, yeah, I would agree. Every day, every night goes so hard. When that hit Spotify, I listened to that song on repeat for like a week. Just like I'm going to do with Bring It Back the moment it hits Spotify. It'll just be a playlist with one song. It's just that song. That's how I feel. But yeah, oh man, I should. Now I'm thinking about like other S tier songs that I would put up here in general. Oh man, like I feel like Rowdy's is an S tier. I think I love the song Rebellion. It's genuinely one of my favorites. I don't even think I would put that at S tier. I'd probably say it's like an A. It's not like the greatest display of their abilities. It's just solid. I like it. I would probably put License to Kill up at S tier though. License to Kill dropped and it was just like, oh my god. you know. Oh my god. I am also ready. Like genuinely, like I said, even though I like put like Amp Rules at C or whatever, I think that genuinely all these songs have merit. They're all good. I think that they really came out swinging. I think these are all solid. And I'm like really excited to see how it goes in terms of like lore and whatever cuz they're going to have their little voice like dramas. I'm very curious to see how that'll play out. Like, obviously, you have like as a repeat for people who weren't here earlier, maybe. I am slurring all of my words. I'm so sorry. We have Akanyatsu is going to be up against Bay. The Cat's Whisker is going to be against Amp Rule. Visti's going to be against Inmate, and then Goku Luck's going to be against Cosmez. And so those are going to be our Battle of Unity matchups. And then I guess it's like whatever group Avengers or Re-Avengers get the most points, they're going to be the ones that get new songs, I guess, is how they're doing it. I don't know, like, if there's necessary rounds or if it's just this one round. Not sure. And when I was looking at people talking about the lineup, it's all kind of unclear right now. If there's going to be, like, more, if there's gonna be like other matchups or what. So like right now all we know is that it's just this, and then they're gonna like have the winners are gonna have new songs, and then they're also gonna have like after the competition voice dramas, I guess. So lore, finally, lore please. Yeah, I honestly, I'm never gonna get over how poorly they structured Road to Legend. It was so badly, like their like little matchups, awful, terrible. Okay, it was just an awful idea to like. I get on one hand the concept of like we're gonna go in, all of the new groups are gonna lose immediately, so they all have like that sense of like we need to bring it together and like really surpass. But also, on the other hand, like, we already didn't know anything about them. Then they immediately lost and are out of the running for most of the thing, and except for one of them. So I do feel like the pacing, the writing, the setup, the concept, all of it in that second in the Road to Legend was awful. Haruomi is apparently a really good businessman, like, for running a restaurant. He's apparently really good at composing, like, hip-hop songs. Terrible at running competition. In my opinion. Dude, for real though, we need to know what happened to Ultra Trigger. Like, Ultra Trigger just got backburnered. Like, it was like, oh, they got defeated, but they're technically not all the way defeated. They just had to, like, close their facilities and free all the people. But, like, anyway, let's talk about Alan's printer problems and how Nayuta really thought he was going to die from metal erosion. We'll talk about Ultra Trigger later. Like, I get it, but I'm also kind of like, okay, guys, but like the interesting parts were not in this particular arc of the storyline. So yeah, I don't know. I would really like to see more of lore moving forward. I want to see Iori get back to being his like background investigator, where he's like running around in the background. Like I don't even know that Iori ever mentioned a single time how there was literally an entire group that was like 2/3 human experiment. Like he spent so much time in the first arc being like, oh, something's weird about that Ryu Natsume kid. And then like just the whole second party's just like, wow, Zen, you really, yeah, you need some therapy, I think. Also, Kanata, your brother is not you anymore. That's why he's a different person. Anyway, like, I feel like we lost a little bit of that like edgy, mysterious, ambiguous Iori who's like poking around in the back scenes, having a bitch off with Hajun that one time. I'd like to see a little bit of a return to that, in my opinion. Yeah, there are a lot of. I mean, it makes sense that there are loose ends because you don't want to like. Okay, that's a wrap up, one round, and our whole project's done. You know what I mean? Like, so I get why they leave those, but it really was kind of like okay. Let's see here. I think Ultra. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing is that like one of the frustrating parts I think about the it wasn't Pride. Oh my god, what was the second one with I am completely like Fate? No, it wasn't Fate. Oh my god. I'm having a stroke. The Bay and the Cat's Whiskers battle in Road to Legend. There were so many interesting and significant lore points that were set out. Ryu had some sort of connection with somebody. He formed a connection with that guy. That guy tried to save him from the facility and was killed in the process of it. Ryu ran away and ran until he was found basically by Yohei. And then, they all went and they found that facility and were like going around and it was all really creepy and weird and they'd done all these child experiments there. And then that just gets left on the back burner because they didn't win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... it's a little frustrating. I mean, I don't necessarily blame them for trying to introduce new characters, and I think that some of the new characters did bring more clarity to the characters that we had, right? Like, Inmate does bring more clarity to Ryu's past. Like, we had already been teased a couple times where it seemed implied that Ryu was a human experiment. Inmate's introduction clarified, and it basically, put a spotlight on the fact that Ryu is in fact a human experiment and was once in a facility with these kids. I am a little bit salty because Goku Luck's introduction really like it feels like it was supposed to help with Akan Yasuda's lore, but then both like I feel like Zen and Satsuki's like lore got a little retconned from it because it was like Satsuki was betrayed by his best friend and it was like well Satsuki took a fall for his best friend, but like it was kind of complicated, and like his friend didn't really mean it. Like his friend's mom was sick, and like they kind of like really took the teeth out of Satsuki's like trauma, which didn't make a lot of sense, I thought. And then also, I'm still furious about them retconning Zen. How Zen was like, oh, he went undercover when he was like 21, and then 2 years later he joined the gang. I'm like, what? When I read that in the new fan book, I genuinely like laid down on my apartment floor and just like yelled. I was so mad. I'm still really mad about it because I'm like, great, awesome. This doesn't make any sense. They let this idiot pretend to be like lying and fooling people for 2 years. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's egregious. Anyway. But yeah, so that I thought was a little goofy. I don't like the way that they retconned that. But they had to change it because like the way that like Yudo reacted to his like betrayal, so to speak, caused that to change, which was the frustrating part. So stuff like that. But they did kind of in some way lend a little bit more insight into the backgrounds of like Satsuki and Zen. And then you have Amperl, which obviously Dongha gives a little bit more background information to Hajun, and then Visti's just there. Poor Visti, they're just there. So I do feel like there's potential in the characters. I don't think that they was the best executed at every level, and I think that it definitely did a huge disservice the way that they did the setup of the battles last time, because it was egregious how much lore got left on the table and did not get explored, because the teams that have all the heavy lore did not win, the way that I assumed they meant and I think it was so bad to the point that literally in the final showdown between the three of them, right, for the championship, so to speak, like literally they all had separate voice. Like they didn't even have enough shared lore amongst the three groups that made it to the finals that they could actually have a joint interactive voice drama. They had each individual team had voice dramas. Like, to me, that was like, oh crap, we have these three teams, we don't have any ideas, we just have to give separate lore. I think that was a massive fumble on their part, and I don't mind saying that I think the Road to Legend was just really poorly handled in a lot of ways. I think that Rue. I think that that was also one of the things that really made Satsuki mad, though, right? Because when in the rage drama, he was like, "I took this fall for you. You said you're going to take care of your mom. You weren't going to do this again, and you're in freaking prison. Like, are you kidding me right now?" Um, yeah, I think that was to him like the kind of a betrayal. Some people are mad. I think that like Satsuki didn't have more of a grudge about it, but I think also it makes sense. Like Satsuki, he gets mad. It kind of like explodes. It boils over, and then he's done. He's like, okay, yeah, I feel a little bit better. Like I'm still kind of salty about it, but I don't feel like rage-inducing anger about it anymore. So I feel like that makes sense, sort of. I just think it kind of really weakens the whole like. It does feel like it kind of cheapened his trauma a little bit, in that respect. Yeah, I don't know why I guess like they're like, okay, Vissi's gonna be here because inmate exists and K's there, so like he needs to have a former team that he was in. Like I said, I want Vissi to have like that I want Visti lore so bad, in the sense that I want them to have like where like because they're already indie, right? They're like, we had to go off the label because we're gonna get disbanded, but we want to still be we want to still be idols, so we're still gonna hang in there and try. That's great. I love that for them. I want Visti to be like, we're still doing crap. Maybe if we stepped out of what was our safe zone, right? Because like that's what we made, the kind of music we made with K. That's being in the safe idol box is what kind of helped us when we were with K. But right now we're not with K anymore. We need to reinvent ourselves. Now is the time. We're indie. We can do whatever the heck we want. Maybe we can do something else. Maybe we can step outside of the bounds. And I think that for all of them, too, it's relevant to their individual traumas, right? Like, it would make sense as a narrative progression, because, like, Shogo is caught in his father's shadow. Toma is kind of, he's afraid, like, they talk about it in the first Visi drama, how he's always holding his head at his good angle, so to speak, because he's, like, afraid to show his bad side or his bad angles, and he's, like, paranoid about his face and his skin and all that kind of stuff, as seen in, like, his comic. Kantaro is constantly ego surfing. He wants to see, like, get followers and to have safe things that are not being overrun by haters and negative comments. And Aoi is very much caught in this, like, I have to be this prince. I have to be the fan service prince, because that's kind of in my personal opinion, that this is the sort of man that I aspire to be, or that I want to be, this kind of like safe, romantic, charming prince that girls will like, or that they find appealing, right? I think for all of them, to some extent, there's that sense of, I need to be safe because I cannot, like, I have self-esteem issues and I can't step outside of this box. If I do, and I challenge that, I lose everything. And I think that they have to embrace the fact that they need to change to improve. Otherwise, they keep on circling the drain. You know what I mean? So from a narrative perspective, this is the time, in my opinion, for them to go, like, to have that realization. We need to step outside of our comfort zones. We need to do something and try to change our sound. We need to try to do something different, because that's the only way we can grow as a group. So that's what I think. I think that Visti has so much potential. I think all the characters are really likable. I think that like there's something just very endearing about this like idol group that's like failing because you want to help them, you want them to succeed, and so I feel that a lot. I want them to succeed, I want them to do well, and I want them to grow as a unit because even they in their first drama, right, they like do their little live stream, they're all doing their little personas, they get done, they're like, oh my god, so they even know that it's straining them right now the way that they're being, so they know that it's not sustainable, and so I'd like them to reach that conclusion. But yeah, so those are my thoughts though on them. I don't know. I think that's kind of it though. I feel like I've said what I kind of wanted to say, what I got on here to say initially. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, I don't know, drop them in the comments or the chat, I guess. Otherwise, I think probably wrap this up pretty soon here. We've been going for about almost 2 hours. I think that's pretty good. Thanks to everyone for stopping in. It means a lot to me, honestly. I know it's been a while, and I've been kind of like hands off on things. I've been like on and off on social media because I work a job, like a full-time job. I guess not on the summers, but I work during the school year. I work a full-time job, and it is also kind of an exhausting profession. But I do love being able to talk with all you guys. I've had a lot of fun. I love having conversations about these things because it is really cool to see what other people think or what other people are taking away. And sometimes people like make really good points that I haven't thought of, obviously, because I cannot think of everything. And it gives me a lot of new perspective on different groups or things that I never thought about. So I thank you guys for contributing to the conversation, for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun. All right, so yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks. Yeah, no, it's been like a lot of fun. It genuinely was. I hope we have an excuse to do this maybe at some other point. I'm always like anxious to make a live, but then when I do it, it's a lot of fun. So I always feel like maybe I should do it again. But we'll see. I want to try to get this Goku Luck video out in the next like week. That's like my loose time scale. I should probably work on it today and tomorrow though, because I have a wedding next week, so I'm going to be out of town actually. If I can get it done before then, that would be fine. I'll see. I'll do my best. I would like to try to get that out though at some point. And I do have like the script written. I just need to like do everything else. But until then, guys, it's been really fun. Take care. Enjoy. Have a good day.